Betrayal beyond belief, my wife, my cousin, and a 20-year lie. I thought I had weathered the worst storms life could throw at me. Little did I know. The tempest brewing beneath the surface would shatter everything I believed to be true. Prepare yourselves, because what I'm about to reveal is a twisted saga of deceit, hidden identities, and a family ripped apart by secrets that festered for 2 decades. Bear with me as I unravel this web of lies, because the truth is far more shocking than I ever could have imagined. I'm a 44-year-old man, happily married to my 41-year-old wife for the past 10 years. We've been together for 13, building a beautiful life and raising our wonderful 8-year-old son. But buried deep in my past, a ghost haunted me, a failed first marriage that ended abruptly and inexplicably. I married Amy at the tender age of 22, swept away by the innocent passion of childhood sweethearts. For the first few years, our life felt like a fairy tale. But then, a chilling shift occurred. The spark began to fade and an impenetrable wall seemed to rise between us. I desperately tried to rekindle the flame, but my efforts were met with a cold indifference that left me reeling. Then, a few weeks before our 3rd anniversary, Amy dropped a bombshell: divorce papers. She was done. My pleas fell on deaf ears. The only explanation she offered was a chillingly simple, "I'm not in love with you anymore." I was devastated, consumed by rage and confusion. But I was left with no choice. I couldn't force her to stay, to live a life she no longer desired. With minimal shared assets, the divorce was swift and agonizingly painless. After the ink dried, Amy vanished, cutting off all contact and leaving me adrift in a sea of unanswered questions. Even more perplexing, my own family began to ice me out. They, who should have been my support system during the most excruciating time of my life, inexplicably distanced themselves. After the divorce was finalized, I tried desperately to reach out to reconnect. But I was met with a wall of silence, blocked on every platform, barred from their homes. I was left to wonder what I had done to deserve such cold rejection. It was a double blow, a betrayal that compounded my already shattered heart. Paralyzed by grief and confusion, I spiraled into a dark place. I quit my job, retreating into the sanctuary of my home for months, unable to function. Thankfully, my friends rallied around me, offering the unwavering support my family had denied me. Their encouragement pulled me back from the brink, inspiring me to rebuild my life and pursue my lifelong dream of opening a restaurant. Fueled by their belief in me, I secured investors and poured my heart and soul into this new venture, naming it after a suggestion my parents had once made. Years passed and slowly, painstakingly, I began to heal. My restaurant thrived, leading me to my current wife and son, and my personal life improved. What started as a small eatery blossomed into a thriving hospitality firm, a chain of hotels and restaurants recognized and admired throughout the state. It was a long, arduous journey, but I finally felt like I had made it. Recently, I agreed to an interview, seeing it as a validation of my hard-earned success. I never imagined that this seemingly innocuous act would unleash a whirlwind of revelations, tearing open old wounds and exposing a truth so shocking it would redefine my entire past. My family, after years of radio silence, saw the interview and decided to contact me. I never expected them to see the interview because of the channel the interview was on. Even if they did, I never thought they would come to my work. I was floored when the receptionist announced their arrival. It was highly inappropriate of them to arrive at my place of employment and insist on seeing me while I was there. But that's exactly what happened 3 days ago. Seeing them after all this time was surreal. They immediately launched into a barrage of praise, showering me with compliments about my success and how inspirational my story was. They even lamented their absence from the narrative, claiming they, as my family, should have been included. They inquired about my wife and grandson, expressing a sudden desire to meet them. Then, the accusations began. They berated me for not trying harder to reach out after the divorce, conveniently overlooking their own role in the years of silence. Sensing an opportunity to finally uncover the truth, I decided to listen. I invited them to sit, bracing myself for whatever revelations might come. And that's when they dropped the bomb. Amy had been cheating on me with my cousin, the son of my dad's older brother. My parents had known all along, actively helping her hide the affair. Suddenly, everything clicked into place. The family gatherings I was never invited to, the years of rejection, the inexplicable animosity, it all stemmed from Amy's betrayal and my family's complicity. Apparently, my cousin, Carl, had decided he wanted Amy, and she had reciprocated, even after we were married. My family, fearing the wrath of my uncle, Carl's father and my dad's supervisor, chose to protect him over me. But the story didn't end there. They revealed that Amy was pregnant when she filed for divorce, carrying my child, a daughter I never knew existed. My family concealed this, too, fearing the consequences of defying my uncle's demands. My daughter, now almost 20, has grown up believing Carl is her father. My parents presented this twisted tale as if it were a justifiable reality, a burden I was now expected to shoulder. They had chosen to sever ties with me, prioritizing their relationship with their granddaughter over their own son. In their eyes, they had effectively erased me from the family tapestry. I was reeling. They could have told me the truth, given me the chance to make my own choices. Instead, they chose fear, sacrificing me at the altar of family politics. The fact that they withheld the existence of my daughter, a truth they guarded for 2 decades, until my success made them yearn for connection, was unforgivable. I ordered them to leave, unable to process the magnitude of their betrayal. But they refused, demanding I consider their perspective their hardship. They even audaciously claimed credit for my success, citing their suggestion for my restaurant's name. I laughed, a hollow, bitter sound, and threatened to have them forcibly removed from the building. As security escorted them out, they continued to plead, insisting they had no other option. But I knew better. They had made a choice, a cruel, devastating choice. And now they would have to live with the consequences. Even after this confrontation, they relentlessly pursued me, bombarding me with emails and social media messages, their tone shifting from accusation to desperate apology. They even camped outside my workplace, their presence a constant reminder of their deceit. Despite the turmoil, I was now faced with a new dilemma: my daughter. Should I reach out to her, introduce myself, and disrupt the life she has always known? My wife, bless her understanding heart, supports my desire to connect with her, but the path forward is fraught with uncertainty and potential pain. Update 1. A week has passed since my initial revelation, and my wife and I have decided to continue ignoring my family. Thankfully, they have stopped showing up at my workplace. The silence, though unsettling, has allowed me to begin to process my emotions. I have also stopped feeling guilty about not responding to their messages. No amount of apologies can erase what they did. The bigger issue, however, remains my daughter. My parents, during their disastrous visit, revealed where she goes to college. My assistant was able to find her social media profile. I am unsure of if it is appropriate for me to contact her. I want to tell her the truth, but I hesitate to reach out to Amy. She and my family are all cowards with no courage, and I don't want anything to do with them. Update 2. Following the advice of you, I found the perfect moment to send her a message. I am now waiting for a reply. This is difficult because I do not want to disturb her life. She will undoubtedly find it difficult to accept. My parents have stopped contacting me and sent me one last long email. They also indicated they would wait for me to get in touch with them before contacting me again. The situation has only gotten worse now that I know the true reason they haven't spoken to me. In 20 years, I don't think the feeling of betrayal and hurt will go away anytime soon. There was at least one positive outcome from I learned more about my daughter, and I'm hoping she will choose to give a relationship another. In case she doesn't want to speak with, I haven't yet told my kid about her. I don't want to give him unrealistic expectations, but if everything works out, he might see her as a sister, and I might meet the daughter I never knew I had. Update 3. I made contact with my daughter on social media approximately 2 weeks ago. I messaged, telling her everything about myself and our relationship. I finally got a response today after waiting for 2 weeks. She only mentioned that she had discussed me with her mother, and that she had discovered that I am her biological father. She was shocked by this. She had no notion that she wasn't Carl's daughter and had thought he was her biological father for the last 20 years. She also told me that she wanted to see me and my family after learning the real tale of how her mother and I got to be this. Since she doesn't have the money to visit us at this time and isn't talking to her family, we are taking a plane to see her this weekend. Update 4. I finally got to meet my kid today with my family. It was initially uncomfortable, then, but overall it was simply lovely. Despite having grown up with 2 of the worst people I've ever met, she seems to be a decent and caring person. She is a very mature and clever young woman. During our lengthy talk, we discussed Amy and Carl's situ. She told me that she didn't care that they didn't approve of her meeting us. She doesn't care what her folks think now that she knows the truth. She doesn't intend to eliminate Amy and Carl from her life entirely, because they don't have any other children but her. But she will undoubtedly put them out of her life for a while as she tries to come to terms with everything. We discovered that my parents, who are her grandparents, had maintained communication with her throughout the entire time. Given that they were her grandfather's brother's family rather than her biological grandparents, she always thought it was odd how sentimental they were about. Now they understand why they were so devoted to her. But now that she has learned all of this, she and I both view them differently. Since I'm a lot older than her, I can probably relate to her feelings. We're going to make an effort to make it the greatest it can be. So, I know it must be. The fact that the meeting went well, and that my family and I both seem satisfied after everything, makes me very happy. The important thing is that we finally have an opportunity to put things right after all these years, and I'm going to take advantage of it. So, Reddit, after hearing this roller coaster of a story, do you think I'm handling this situation correctly? Am I justified in cutting off my family? Or should I try to find a way to forgive them? Was contacting my daughter the right move? Or was I meddling in a life that was never meant to be mine? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this whole matter. Your insights could be invaluable as I navigate this uncharted territory. I'm truly lost, and any advice or perspectives would be greatly appreciated as I try to find a way forward.